Today I messed up by sending a vibrator to my grandmother. This involves multiple FUs and happened a year or so ago. I bought a present for my grandmother from a website for her birthday. All went well. She got the present and was delighted with it. A few months later I used the same website to order a vibrator, but it never arrived. I called customer support to complain and they went over my order, including making sure that they had the correct address. It was then that I realized that I had sent the vibrator to my grandmother as her address had been saved as the default one from the previous order. I called my grandmother to ask if she had received the package. She said yes she had, but she gave it to my dad because she thought it was a toy for his cats that I had sent to her house by mistake. Now I don't know if my grandmother honestly did not know that this was a vibrator and really thought it was a cat toy. I believe she really had no idea what it was. She grew up Catholic in a small southern town and wasn't exposed to much outside of her little world. So now, not only had I sent a vibrator to my grandmother, she had given it to my dad. I refused to call my dad. I was not ready to have that conversation. But about a week later I got the package from my dad that contained the vibrator. We never spoke of it. You would think this is the end of the story, but it is not. Remember when I called customer service to find out why I didn't get my package? They were very nice and sent out a replacement. Where did they send the replacement? To my grandmother. I never told them to change the address. At this point I was just too embarrassed to ask anyone about it and tried to forget it ever happened. Cut to Christmas. My dad came to visit. He told me he had something for me, so I went to the guest room with him. He hands me the package with the vibrator and says, "Please, for the love of God, stop sending vibrators to your grandmother. Too long." Didn't read. Sent a vibrator to my grandmother who gave it to my dad to give to me twice. Today I messed up by dumping a beautiful girl over her smell during sex. I had my first girlfriend when I was 19, everything was great, she's a beautiful blonde with blue eyes and had a great personality. After a few months of dating she told me that she will come visit me at work, a secluded place where no one can see or hear us. We both knew we were going to have sex for the first time that evening. So I went out and bought a fresh pack of condoms. When she came things heated up and we took of our cloths, but suddenly I started smelling a horrible smell that turned me off completely. I didn't want to disappoint, so we had sex anyway, but I definitely did not enjoy it. In the following days I thought that I will never enjoy having sex with her again, and so I broke up with her. I was young and stupid, I know. 3 years later, last week, I had used the same brand of condoms and stared smelling exactly the same smell, and realized that the beautiful girl I used to date wasn't stinky, the condoms were. I feel like I've made the stupidest mistake of my life. Too long. Didn't read. I broke up with a beautiful girl because I thought she was stinky during sex. It turns out, the condoms we used were stinky, not the girl. Edit, wow, I'm getting a lot of hate from people, most of it is deserved. What I did was not okay. But please keep in mind that I was 19 and stupid and I didn't analyze this too much, I just had a bad experience and jumped to conclusions. Just to add a few missing details in the post 1. I broke up with her respectfully, I didn't tell her it was due to the smell too. The brand off condoms we used is Durax. A few people messaged me with the exact same problem. So I guess there are people who are more sensitive to the smell of Durax products. 3. A lot of people suggest contacting her and apologize. I agree. I doubt we will be a couple again, but she deserves to know why I broke up with her. Today I messed up by accidentally attending an underage party, like a creep. Standard, this happened about 10 years ago, etc. I was 25 heading to a 21st for a girl from uni at her house. She was living with her parents. It was far from my house and I knew the street, so I just left home, and when I got to the street I realized I didn't know the number and didn't have the invite. I messaged another friend to find out the address, but he didn't have it either. There were only about 40 houses in the court, and it was pretty quiet, so I figured I'd just have a stroll and listen for music in a busy house. Stroll up to the only house with any sound music going, 25-year-old bloke, bottle of happy birthday vodka in hand, and knock on the door. "Hi, I'm a friend of Steph's here for the birthday." Mom looks at me a bit confused but pleasantly welcomes me in, and walks me through the house, past a group of roughly 15-year-old family eyeing me uncertainly. I start thinking maybe that's just the younger cousins and the main party is out back. Takes me further through the house to her other daughter's room, who coincidentally is named Steph. Steph, your friend is here. As I round the corner into the doorway, I look at this 17 to 18-year-old and my face drops. I don't know you, I say awkwardly, then look at the mum desperately, hoping I have not just become the biggest creep on the planet bringing vodka to a 15th birthday as a bloke in his mid-20s. Very fortunately I explained who I was and who I was looking for, and the lovely mum walked me down the street to the house I was meant to be at as she knew the family. I apologized profusely again, and thanked her for her help and understanding. Too long. Didn't read. I brought vodka to a 15-year-old girl's party that I wasn't invited to as a 25-year-old man by mistake, but mother was really understanding and helped me get where I was meant to be.